Good evening. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Blues Down Under, care of the Mancunian Way. I'm your host, Patrick, joined by some familiar faces. I've got Macca, Mark, and Rich in the building. Again, gentlemen, how are we?
Good evening.
Good evening, Pat.
That's the way. Our apologies just for any changes of schedule. Rich and I had work commitments yesterday, so we thought we'd just move it back to the old slot, but we should be back at Tuesday as of next week anyway. But yeah, guys, look, glad to be back on anyway, and plenty to talk about. I think today's show is mostly going to be about preview of the Monaco match in the Champions League coming up in a few hours' time. I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a very important match, given some fixtures coming up over the coming weeks. But this is probably the first time we've all been on air since the weekend, so just wanted to quickly get your thoughts on the match on Saturday, of course. Manchester City coming out victors against Burnley 5-1. Star of the show was probably Esteve from Burnley with pitching in with 2 goals for us, obviously. Obviously, it's not going to help anybody with fantasy points, but look, Macca, we're all buzzing about a midnight kickoff on a Saturday. Of course, I couldn't do it. I was too busy raving, but mate, I'll just quickly get everybody's thoughts about the match just for a few minutes before we move on, because I know a lot's been said over the last few days, but yeah, let's just hear what you have to say. You go first, Macca, if you like, mate.
Mate, I was very happy to have a midnight kickoff. I wasn't so great by about 2:15 in the morning. Great result, but far too many beers. It was just good fun in cheers. I think there's probably about 150 Liverpool fans and about 7 or 8 City tucked away in what I later termed the winner's enclosure. And we were getting heaps with the goals going in. But, mate, when that last-minute winner went in for Palace, we were keeping our head down. But there was a lot of noise from City corner. So
sometimes the 3 p.m.'s nice, even when you're on the other side of the world, isn't it, mate?
I wasn't complaining. Good performance. First half, not perfect by any means. And I could sense there was a bit of frustration in the crowd. But you know what? There's no easy games. I know it's a cliche. There's no easy games in this division. They're not a great side, Burnley, but we got caught out again in defence, a little bit lacking. But class will out. And the second half, I thought was really good performance. Nice to round off with a couple of goals from Haaland, because he was clearly very frustrated to be missing a few sitters there or just not connecting. And again, a good performance from Doku. It'll be nice if he can just keep this run of form going, because I know there's a few doubters that'll be like, well, he's had 2 or 3 games of form, but if he can keep this going, I think he's got some really positive signals coming there. The only probably downside for me, and it's semantics, but Savinho again sort of failing to show out, and you know, if that's the only downside, I think we should be pretty happy with it.
Yeah,
I think Vinto, what do you got to say?
Savinho just didn't link that well with Nunes, you know, and not really. I mean, it was weird seeing Nunes playing as the third centre back, which just seemed a complete, you know, not that he did particularly badly in defence, but that's just not his position. His ability is his athleticism and everything and going wide. But it's almost like, I've seen it a few times in the past where we saw it with Grealish, and I think, was it Grealish and Cancelo when he was first there, where they just wanted to be in the same space. And it almost felt like Nunes could play.
I was getting those vibes too, mate, but treading on each other's boots, yeah.
Yeah. The one I do disagree, not with anyone here, but the one I had a bit of a over WhatsApp disagreement with, you know, Lord High Master Martin on, was he was negative about Gonzalez. I thought Gonzalez, you know, he had about 90 passes, 90-odd% completion. He put about a dozen balls into the final third offensively. He won his duels in the air and on the ground. And I thought that was his best game for City. And I thought he actually played like a 6 when, you know, he probably is an 8. But I thought, you know, I'd have given Doku man of the match. But because Doku was just permanently dangerous, you know, and there's going to be a few people, you know, one of whom's gone to bed probably to avoid it tonight, who are going to be eating humble pie on Doku, because I don't think there's been, you know, he's been as good as any player in the Premier League in the first 6 games. He looks like he's improved in all facets of the game. And I think I saw a bit at the end of last season where I thought he helped with some goals and assists off the bench late on. He looked good in the Club World Cup. I think he's started this season well. And, you know, there is not a more dangerous player at getting past a man from a standing start. But he's looking stronger and he's starting to get dangerous balls in. You know, I think that's partly him improving. I think it's also partly that we're actually moving better as a team, and Reinders and Foden with his form back and moving in space better, which makes it easier. But I was really pleased with it. I think, and you know, I'm not going to write Savinho off either. He's a kid. He doesn't look fully fit, and you know, I think he's got it. And you can see with Doku, when you put faith and you keep playing a player, how much they can improve, and how realistic it is to write players off after a couple of games and expect they're just going to hit the ground as world stars. So, you know, I think the player I want to, you know, I think we will see more of is Reinders, who better game from him than probably the last couple. But I think there's so much more to come from him, and I can't wait till you know, imagine we were playing an informed Cherky instead of Savinho on the right, and, you know, how he'll interact with Phil. I think there's a lot of excitement to come.
Yeah,
I agree with you, Rich. I think Doku, if he keeps playing, he's just going to get better and better. But he's got to keep playing.
Yeah.
Everyone thought first half we was in control, and then obviously we had that. And I mean, I'm not calling anyone out. It was a good game in the end, but it did come down Nunes' side, and Diaz was slow to react as well. Cross shouldn't have come in. But after that, everything's fine. Do you know what I mean? Everyone played well. Savinho, I think he's getting there slowly. Reinders. Yeah, he did. He did.
Started okay, and then he almost lost confidence from not. But we did switch off for a bit after the goal. We were good, and then we did switch off between our goal and them scoring. And then after that, I thought we were good. So we did.
I think,
there was 20 minutes.
I think the same with Savio. I think once he beats his man in that, if he gets the finishing touch, get it in the box, then we've got 2 good wingers there. But it'll take time. I think it's like Reinders. I think with Reinders, some players take more time than others. Now, we've seen a glimpse of it against Wolves, first game with Reinders, and he's gone quiet again. But some players do take time. Some just get get it going. Do you know what I mean?
Governor, do you think with
So-
Reinders, he's coming to terms with you're not getting as much time on the ball as you do in Italy?
That's it. He's got to learn that, hasn't he?
Mm.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, same with the Scousers with that words. He can't handle it. It's too quick for him, I think. Same thing with him.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
it's funny.
same thing.
It's funny that like we can laugh about like what Liverpool the 2 losses and things like that, but I'm not denying anything about the quality of Wirtz. But I think the problem is like he's going to have that price tag over his head, and let's be honest, like there's not many players out there that've hit the 9 figure in terms of transfer fee, and they've absolutely blown teams out of the water in a way. There's no denying their quality in that, but just the price tag doesn't mean anything. But also too, I think the problem is that Wirtz is going to need time, but they're not going to allow him time. That's the problem.
Yeah, but I hope he is a flop. You know what I mean? I hope he is a flop.
Of course, yeah.
You
But
know
I mean, like if people would quickly jump on Jack Grealish, then by right they should be doing the same thing with Florian Wirtz as well. Yeah.
I think you got to look at everyone.
Liverpool.
They're all young players, aren't they? They come to a different country. I mean,
Wrong
they should
colour
hit it's all that about being young, different country, gelling with everyone. And if you either do it or they don't. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them.
Yeah.
And it takes longer.
Andy Willis says something good here about agreeing Nico G had a good game. And I think when we realise Rodri doesn't start, I think this is probably the first player that is probably under the microscope with most of the fan base. And I think at the end of the day, we've got to look at it and say that, when Nico G's asked to play this, in effect, this role, that we can't, it's not fair to critique him based on how Rodri would perform there. And if when the guy needs to do it, he needs to do it. But at the end of the day, if he needs to fall into doing a 6 role from time to time, then so be it. But we can't expect Rodri-esque performances from the man. So,
no. I mean, he's only going to get better with game time.
Yeah. Yeah, true. And I think it's something that'll grow into his game too, because that's the whole reason why Pep wants to sign players. He sees an opportunity to make him versatile. And well, we forget Nico G, I think he's still in 22 or 23, I believe, anyway. So he's still years off his prime. So this is for me, this is just a slightly more budget version of not being able to get Bruno Guimaraes.
I think with Rodri, in the back of my mind, I don't want to think it, but in the back of my mind, I'm just thinking whether is Rodri ever going to get back to 100%. I don't really want to think about it, but he may never get there again. It could be 750.
Do you think Virgil van Dijk's is a good example? Do you think Virgil van Dijk's injury is a good example? Because to be honest, when he came back, it probably took him about a season and a half before he ever started playing real good football again.
Yeah.
But
just got to manage it well.
He has been as good after as before. I actually think Virgil's starting to drop off a bit. I think age is finally catching up with him from what I've seen this season. But he was clearly back to as good as he was last season as he was a few years before.
Well, Rich, if he drops off, they're knackered because Canati's crap. So
they got that young Italian fella. He's still finding his feet as well. The young fella from Parma. Yeah.
I think I had Arsenal coming second because I genuinely think Liverpool. I think they've got one defensive midfielder who isn't really a CDM. He's more of a Nico Gonzalez, an 8 playing 6, and they're a centre back injury now from real big problem.
Having a meltdown, man.
Signed Cavaries out.
Last week they were unbeatable.
Yeah, but they have not played well in a single game. I've watched them this season. They've not played well. Newcastle.
They might be getting found out.
Arsenal were better than them. Bournemouth were better than them. So, everyone's like, "Oh, what a surprise Liverpool lost this week." But I don't think they've played particularly worse against Galatasaray and Palace than they've played in any other games. Yeah. It's only so long you can play badly and win.
And Salah drops off as well, yeah.
I suppose the only credit we give them is that they pick their moments. It's no different to what Real Madrid does in the knockouts of a Champions League. They may not be the best player, they may not be the best team in the knockouts but they know when to pick the right moments to get a lead or to defend or hold. I don't know
that they do. I think the history of Liverpool in the last 10 years has been being good early in the season and maybe not finishing off. So I don't see Liverpool as a team I think are going to be strong at the end. You know, they've dropped off against us at least 3 times in the league when we've powered past them. You know, they got that season they were going to win the quad a couple of years ago, and then, you know, what did they get? One, or did they get a league? Did they get?
They got both
Did
domestic
get
cups.
anything? 2
They got both
cups,
domestic cups. Yeah.
But they yeah, they haven't shown in the past that they're a team who really power over the line. In fact, I mean, it's only really City who've shown consistently we power over the line second half of the season.
We'll see, won't we? We'll see. Hopefully, Chelsea beat them on the weekend, but it's hard to retain it. Let's see if they're up to it. You know, I don't think they are.
Yeah, they got a couple of weird fixtures there with Chelsea and United, and one thing, you know, when you look at it, like we talk about derbies being like form goes out the door, but whenever you seem to see that fixture, it's always like one team that's in way more form than the other, and yet they still walk away with like a 1-1 draw or something like that. It's such a bizarre game to predict that one, and you hope that if a similar pattern follows, then there's a good opportunity to close the gap even more in the league. And you know, it's funny how quickly things change. You know, we'll go on international break, doom and gloom, and wondering where our next win was going to come from, and now we're, you know, possibly looking at, you know, knocking on the door and being, you know, within a win of the top of the league or something like that. You know, like
because of all the hype around forward signings, all the hype, you know, around Isaac, Etikite, Virch, you know, spending like 300 million or whatever it was on 3 players. Tremendous hype because they're shiny, nice forwards. But you win leagues at centre back, centre midfield, you're number 9. You win the league through the spine. And I'm not sure that, you know, why they didn't sign Gray is beyond me. He was a far, far more important signing than Isaac. But they seem to get completely besotted on Isaac when I don't think they need him when they've signed Etikite or Ekitike or whatever it is.
Ekitike. And he's injured now as well,
it's the
isn't
same when you say it backwards.
They don't really work.
He's injured now with Allison.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that none of those 3 work hard. Like, you know, I was saying to this, someone was ridiculing me for my opinion, but I thought Diaz did so much work for them last year. And I thought as a defender, a pressing, working, he was like Mane was when they won the league in 2020. You know, they raving about this player and that player, but it was the work rate of Mane that was by far the most important thing. And Firmino as well. To work their backsides off. Salah was able to do what he could do because those 2 players worked their arse off. And I'm looking at it now. Salah doesn't really do that much work.
No.
Isaac doesn't. Ekitike doesn't. Florian Wirtz is actually quite a hard-working player, but he's under pressure finding his place. So when you've got a weakness at centre midfield and centre-back, if you suddenly have a forward line that is just not working, that's a big problem for the team. And we've seen it at times with us when we've had players who've worked less hard than others that, you know, that puts pressure through the spine.
Stuff him.
Yeah. Well, no one's gonna be upset.
Yep. Miser says, Ian, I probably agree with him too. He says this Liverpool team is playing like City last season, winning games that they shouldn't have won, and performances are starting to catch up. And I probably have to agree. If I'm honest.
Yeah, that happened to us last October.
Yeah.
Before we went into that terrible run.
You can get away with so many points in the first, say, 8 to 10 games of the season. I mean, how many times have we? It's become a meme in football now. But how often do we say Spurs were always like champions in October? Because they can pull like a little hot streak, but once all the other teams got themselves up to match fitness and, you know, got everything sorted out, then, you know, they all came back to the pack basically. Yeah.
And honestly, how many? I mean, I'd be interested to go and take a look, but I really wonder how many seasons in the history of the Premier League have not been won in that spine down the middle. You know, even when Leicester won it, they won it because of Kante in that role in midfield. You know, he was, you know, by far Leicester's best player. You know, it's, you know, the great Arsenal, the great Chelsea, the great United sides. You know, but Liverpool, when they won it because they won it in that spine in the middle. Same with City. And
Yeah.
yeah, we'll
Rich,
see.
we've got the best spine in the world, mate. So
Yep.
Yeah.
As Andy said, I think Donnarumma has, I think, sneakily become a big part of that. And I think we gloss over the fact that the kid's only like 25, 26, but because he's been in the game for so many years.
And he looks about 40.
Yeah.
With his balding head and his scar. He looks about 40, doesn't he?
He looks like 47 and I'm like 26.
Yeah.
He's resident Scarface. He's what's his name? It was Scarface, the gangster, Al Capone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's Al Capone. He's Al Capone with gloves on. Yeah.
I'm quite liking his hairstyle, to be honest. I'm thinking of growing mine in the same fashion.
Let us know
like a
anyway, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. It is a bit comb over, isn't
it? Yeah. He just combs it forward.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, you're always facing everybody. You haven't got your back turned. Going to talk about from one Nico to another. Nico O'Reilly again. I think kids are going to make it very difficult for Ryan Aït-Nouri to get back in the squad once he's fully fit.
Yep, true.
Yeah, fantastic for me.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting actually, because I do think Aït-Nouri's technically better and will, move the ball and hold the ball better than him. Like, I do think Nico O'Reilly still. I remember against Palace in the FA Cup where he still wants to touch it a couple of times. Whereas I think Aït-Nouri's exceptional. So, but we need two players for that position. We need someone who can play half games. We need someone if Aït-Nouri's injured. So, I think it's fantastic. And I still wonder, and I've never really, understood why Nico couldn't play right back either. Because, the footballer he is, I don't see anything particularly left-sided about him. He looks to me like
he's not left-footed, is he?
Similarly, so I'm surprised that in everything, no one's ever said, "Well, right, Nouri's playing and playing well. Could Nico play right back?"
Yeah, it could be a personal preference. I mean, I think he's been playing well above his age group. He looks so mature, both on the ball and off the ball. There's been the odd moment where he just, one or 2 seconds of concentration and the ball's come in, and it's just an experienced winger that he's played against, but he's playing so maturely. And if you saw the video of his mother giving it, "Nico, I love you, and it's amazing what you're doing," she was more Manchester than Liam Gallagher. I loved it.
That was brilliant, yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't it? Hey? I think I had something in my eye when I was watching it.
Yeah, I know, same thing, yeah.
I just want to say, Nano's very proud of you.
Yeah, she might be a bit of Calvin Phillips's Nan.
That's true, isn't it?
Yorkshire, Kate Chorley's and signing stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I'm loving it again.
Sounds like
lads coming
Macca, you're sounding like someone who's really prepping themselves for that Oasis concert next month.
I'm all dressed up and ready to go, mate.
No, mate. Yeah, I can't wait either. Now I've got my ticket. It's all I can think about now. It's been incredible. Foggy again.
Pat.
Hey, mate.
Question is, Pat, is Rodri going to play tonight?
We'll get on to Monaco in a second.
All right.
If that's all right, mate. Yeah, but just quickly, I'll get Foggy in with the 10 gifted memberships, mate. As always, our biggest contributor on the channel. Thanks for everything. If you got a membership from Foggy, give it a big old W and a big thank you in the chat. Just brilliant, mate. As always, from Foggy. Thanks very much for all your support, buddy. Look. We don't want to linger too much on Burnley. Look, at the end of the day, we're happy with the result. If it wasn't for Arsenal, getting a nasty last-minute win against Newcastle, it would have been just about the perfect weekend for us. But can't complain. We're back. I suppose we're back in the title race, if you want to call it that. But all to look forward to for Monaco and of course Brentford on the weekend. Yes. So guys, match day 2 kicking off tomorrow morning our time. A little bit later on for those in Europe, UK, and all other parts of the world. Monaco currently at the moment are sitting. Last I checked, I believe about 3rd in their Ligue 1 table. Now, fourth, actually. Sorry, they're just a few points. Level of points with Marseille, 3 points behind Lyon and PSG at the moment for the league table. But I want to talk about a little bit about their current form at the moment. I did decide to just have a little look at what we're up against coming tomorrow. Just had a really poor loss, and I actually watched that game against Lorient. They lost 3-1 away, including a red card as well. And if you go back to their Champions League, which was about 2 weeks ago, they had a 4-1 loss away to Club Brugge. And I believe they were probably about 3 or 4-0 down in the first half. Just from what I saw from the highlights there, it looked like some very, very shoddy defending. Just for the record, former Tottenham defender Eric Dyer is now at Monaco. So, take that with a pinch of salt for whatever you want anyway. But obviously Monaco, for us, we take a lot of flashbacks to, we signed Bernardo Silva from there. Benjamin Mendy we signed from there. Last time we played them, they were just incredible the way they played us. 17-year-old Kylian Mbappe was spectacular. But I don't know if we're going to have the same problems with them this year as we did, nearly 10 years ago. But I'm a little bit interested about this game because I think that, given I think we're hopefully this season we'll have a little bit more familiarity with how a league system works in the Champions League, because you're now worried about 7 other teams and not worried about playing 3 teams twice. I hope now that we can actually get a good performance. And I feel like if we can get a really good dominant performance in this game, it'll set us up in a really, it may set us up in a really good position to remain in that top 8 for the remainder of, at least for this calendar year. You got your thoughts on this? Anything, guys?
Yeah, I'd agree, mate. I think, the fact that they got smashed by Club Brugge, and then I think they lost, Brugge lost to Atalanta last night. So, they're not anything special. But again, you can't underestimate them. And for me, if Rodri's fit, I'd give him some game time, maybe for 50, 60 minutes maximum, and get him off, no matter what the score, because the big game for me is the weekend, Brentford away.
Yeah. And we're lucky that our nemesis, who always bloody scored for the Rags against us, isn't playing. So he's not fit yet, is he?
Who was that, sorry?
Pogba plays for them now, doesn't he?
Does he?
Yeah,
I never noticed that. I was actually just about to go in and look at the transfers just to see what they've done, but the only one that stood out for me when I was watching replays was... And,
the next greatest player in the world, Ansu Fati, as well, I think.
Yes, he's there. Yeah.
He's like Aliou Toure, who played for us. But, I'm glad. I don't think Pogba's back. I'm glad because he scored a few goals against us and had a few good games against City. So I don't want any flashes like that from the past. I'd be interested to see their fullbacks as well, because they've had a couple of defenders we've looked at.
I was going to say, Rich, did they pay? Did they get a fee for him, or did they pay a fee? Did he come on a free, or did they pay £89 million for him? I'm not sure.
No, he came on a free, didn't he? He was.
Doesn't matter. It was tax free.
He came back from his two-year suspension or whatever he had, and he was a free agent.
He had 2 years off, didn't he? And then once he left United, he then got a ban.
Yeah,
he was at Juventus for a little bit, and then that was when the ban came into place, and I think they just voided his contract and sort of just went from there, basically.
Really, we need 3 wins, don't we, to get safe in that group, don't we? I think it's 3 wins, isn't it? 9 points, 8 points.
Well, I mean, we have to go back to last season's table to see how many.
To go through, you needed 5-6 wins to be in the top 8. Wins, didn't we, last year? Or
okay.
Well, I said if you want, I said bare minimum. If you want all your home games,
we were around 22nd or something.
Yeah, I've got 8 or 9 points in my head, and you saved for something. I don't know why.
Yeah, Ethan's got 7-0 for
you might struggle to even get in the top 24. Like, what did we get? What did we get last year? I thought we got like 10, 11 points last year.
Okay,
sounds about right. And that was the absolute bare minimum.
Because we were 22nd. So I would think you'd have to win 6 games to be top 8 and get away from playing. Yeah.
So
Essa
we've
says
got to
the
play an
squad's
half-decent
depleted, so they
side,
got
haven't we, really?
Kamara, Dennis Zakaria. I remember City were keen on Dennis Zakaria for a bit too. Golovin, he's a good player as well. Bamba's out as well. Pogba's not fit. So, yeah, it sounds like they're kind of they're just going through with the sticky tape squad at the moment, really. Yeah. But like I said, like, you know, I know probably the focus is maybe more on Brentford. Maybe their eggs are in more of that basket too. But I would hope that we can go as strong as possible because, you know, I just feel like this is a game where we could take advantage of a weak team and just set our foot well into that top 8, just in case, you know, maybe a poor
Villa got
performance is
16 points. They were 8th last year. So Villa got 5 wins and a draw. So based on last year, 5 wins and a draw, 2 defeats gets you in the top 8 and avoids the playoffs.
Yeah.
And
what's the bare minimum for the top 24?
11 points, Club Brugge last year.
Right. Right.
No. Yeah, 11, yeah. Same as City.
Has Pep done his press
year.
conference? Has he mentioned Rodri at all?
I know they did I think they did a press conference just recently with Bernardo, but I don't know if that was like because they do press conferences before they leave Manchester, and then they do one when they get there, don't they?
With Bernardo, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Rodri's travelled. So he's in the 21 who travelled.
Yeah.
So they obviously think there's a reasonable chance he could at least be on the bench. And, you know, if there was if there was massive doubt, they wouldn't waste time travelling him. They'd have him resting back at Eastland. So he should be all right.
I think they're just doing the typical Rodri thing where they're just trying to line him up for 60 minutes and then get him off regardless of the score.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But
I'd have that.
Yeah.
But he was apparently you know, it was him who not on the day of the game, he said, my knee's hurting, I don't want to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a strange one, that.
John Stones.
Yeah. For him to come out and say that.
Stones when you need him. Yeah.
Yeah. Connor's back soon. So
Stones he can play in the 6.
Oh, we all know that, yeah.
He's
we just know what's going to happen. He'll get injured when he does it, yeah.
What about Cherky? Because he's come back early, hasn't he, training, really?
Yeah, from what who mentioned it before?
Connor.
I think it might have been Connor. He said that it looks like Cherky's still not fully fit yet.
Yeah, you don't want to bring him in yet.
After the international break.
Yeah.
Well, my assumption was after international break anyway. So anything earlier than that is a bonus, but also a risk. So
yeah.
Yeah, and there's no need to bring him back for Monaco or Brentford.
No.
That's fine. I mean, I don't know. It's just I do feel like with this fixture, I really, really want to put them to the sword. I don't just want to just go away with like a 1-0 win or a 2-0 win or something like that. Like, you know, goal difference could be a little bit of a factor in this. I don't know how this sort of Champions League situation works, but, you know, the goals are momentum for us. And I feel like, you know, I think Brentford proved that they are still a tricky squad even without Thomas Frank there. And, you know, they did a good job against United at the weekend. And I feel like, you know, wins are momentum. And, you know, I feel like if we can get a good performance here, that'll set us in good stead for for Brentford on the weekend.
Yeah, I don't mind how many we win by. Get the points on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's United's crapness, not Brentford's goodness. Brentford haven't looked good this season. I just think United are that bad that they can make a team in the bottom half of the Premier League look like they're at their best when they're not.
Yeah,
but let's just hope Amorim gets a new contract.
When we've gone down to London, Rich, they've always made it difficult. I said Brentford have always made it difficult whenever we've gone down there. Yeah, they just always seem to have their players are always up for that sort of game. But Connor's asked, does Nico Gonzalez start? If Rodri starts, would you still start him too?
I wouldn't start Rodri if he's not feeling 100%.
No, but I mean, if Rodri was fit to play, even if play 60 minutes, would you even consider Nico as well, or would you have him as the 30-minute man?
Yeah, I don't think
they'll start Rodri.
I think if they think Rodri's going to play, he'll play against Brentford. I'd be very surprised if he starts. Possible.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised.
Yeah. Any changes you might think from the weekend's game that might come in?
Well,
Oscar Bob's a
Bob's
decent
that
shout. I
for
don't know.
me.
Yeah.
We were a different team when he came on. Yeah,
No, I can't lie. We did look good.
Tactically, especially away in Europe, Bob's one of the smartest technical players we've got in that team. He knows how to play.
Which do you see Bob as someone who would probably get a bit more success in Champions League than he would in Premier League?
Yeah, I think it probably helps him a little bit. But I think tactically, when you're away, Oscar Bob is he's such a smart player. You can see he just plays like a player who's played for City for 20 years. And so I think defensively and possession-wise, we're a lot better with him playing than Savinho. He's not going to beat his man quite as excitedly, but he doesn't lose the ball. And he's so good at pressing. He's good in possession and stuff.
Yeah.
It's similar to Docker in a way where you don't know what he's going to do, Bob. Same with Docker in a way.
Feet are magic. His feet are magic. He's so quick.
But Bob's just a bit classier. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way he does
Bob's
it.
More like, there's a bit in the Phil, a bit like Phil with his feet, Bob. He's so quick with them.
Yeah.
And, and he I don't know, he just to me, Bob doesn't like to go wide all the time and always push for the flank. So even when Bob's playing, Nunes can actually play more of his natural role and run on wide, which if you're going to play Nunes in defence, you want his best asset, which is his pace, his athleticism, and he's a good crosser of the ball. So, Bob allows that. Whereas I don't think Savinho helps his right back.
It shows with Nunes. It shows with Bob that when Nunes, where was Nunes when he scored his goal? Not where he was.
Yeah.
It's like five yards out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not even that.
Yeah, because he knows Bob's going to cover for him, and I don't think when Savinho was there was any thought that Savinho covers for Nunes. Whereas I think.
So do you think Bob? Do you think for now Bob's a better player than Savinho? Not just because probably he's been in better form at the moment, but because he's a better link-up player. We know the link-up player with Rico Lewis is sensational, but whoever's in that right back position, whether it's Nunes, Kuzanov, do you think Oscar Bob just suits better than Savinho for now at least?
Yeah, I reckon you might trust him more.
Yeah, he's a better option
than Savinho.
I think Savinho and Nunes want to do the same thing, whereas I think Nunes and Bob can do slightly different things and match their roles to each other. Whereas Savinho and Nunes, they both want to go wide and cross the ball and take up the same position.
Yeah.
That's why I remember thinking a couple of years ago with Grealish and Cancelo, they just looked like they were just rubbish together. They both wanted to take up the same space all the time. And
in each of his ways.
When you've got two players playing the flank together, they want to take up different space. Like O'Reilly and Doku, you never see them running into the same space or wanting to be in the same place. Nico will go inside, or Doku will go in and Nico will go right. Whereas Savinho and Nunes don't have that, and maybe it'll come with time. Like, it's unfair to expect them to just click like that. But Bob seems to have the intelligence to fit in with the players around him, which Savinho doesn't at the moment.
Would you also say he understands the role as well too a bit better? And I mean, obviously that's probably been around the club a bit longer than Savinho too as a factor, but he just seems to understand what his role
but
is.
We might have chances are Bernardo's going to play. So the question is, if Bernardo's playing, I think Phil will play, because I think Phil's going to be Pep's first name on the team sheet at the moment. So that might mean that Bob won't play, because Bernardo's going to be playing right wing and then going over the pitch, doing his other stuff. So, unless they don't play Reinders and, Bernardo plays an 8 or something.
So would you say his first name on the sheet? Sorry, mate.
So if Rodri doesn't play, who's gonna be alongside Nico G then? Silva?
I think so.
That could be. I think Bernardo will play, because he didn't play Saturday. I think
He was,
you know,
he was
he's
off the
been
bench,
kept for
wasn't
this
he?
game. So
I'm sure he was.
yeah, but only for 20
Yeah.
minutes or something. So
Yeah.
I think Bernardo's been kept for Monaco, and the fact he's out doing the press conferences
Yeah.
and stuff, I think he's going to be captain and playing. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
true.
definitely starting.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like Bernardo. It sounds like a suitable game for him to play in this anyway. Yeah, I just think
And
Bernardo's.
he's going home. I mean, they love him there as well. They absolutely love him. I was in. I did the tour of their stadium about. I think it would have been about 3 weeks before we signed him, and the tour guide, they still had Bernardo's shirt up, and she went, "Oh, you've just stolen this fella," and I was like, "Yeah, I gather we're almost getting him." And she goes, "We just adore him. Everyone in this club adores him." And you know what? Everyone has at our club, haven't they, since he joined us? It's had the odd little moment, but I adore him too. He's brilliant. And what I also love is my mate, who's a Scouser. He says the Scouse fans hate him more than any other City player. It just cracks me up.
I think,
Cracks me up.
apart from maybe Haaland.
Yeah.
Would you put? Can't speak on behalf of all fan bases, Rich, but would you put? I think I'd put Bernardo up there as the player, with definitely branded as the player everyone hates but would love to have in their team.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I think.
And all because he drank a cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee. Did clap. Brilliant.
He loves it.
Now,
He loves it.
funny you say that, because I saw Benfica against Inter 2 seasons ago in Lisbon, and you know the group of Benfica fans that I hung out with there, the fantastic group, by the way. They just were waxing lyrical about Bernardo. They said, like, you know, he was always going to be too big for Benfica, but like, you know, they can't wait for, you know, they love having it. They love what he's been doing at City for like the last 9-10 years, but they can't wait to have him back. Because they just feel like he's the sort of player who could just play in their squad probably until he's, you know, 40, pending injuries or anything like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he can certainly go like David Silva, was playing at 37 before he got his injury back at Sociedad. I think Bernardo could be doing the same. You know, I like the fact this season we're prepared to, you know, the poor bloke's barely missed a game for about 6-7 seasons because he was just being played, you know, eight games a month. And finally this season, we're actually letting him have a bit of rest, because I think we have overplayed him.
Yeah. I think we had no choice as well. Do you think, I know it's been a long time since he's left there now, but if he scores, do you think he'll celebrate? Do you think he'll celebrate?
I don't think he will. He's a respectable man enough to not do it. Although
9
years is a lot of water.
Now.
9 years is a lot of water under the bridge. But then again, he hasn't played him yet. So
I think you should.
Macca will be back shortly. Everyone.
I actually don't mind. Don't mind players celebrating against their old team. Like, you know, like a lot of City fans went nuts when Dickoff scored against us, but I think he's perfectly entitled to. You know, I think
it doesn't bother me really.
Soft. I think we're a bit soft if a player scores against their ex team and you don't let them celebrate. Like, they don't have to go full Adebayor every time, although, you know, it was good when he did. But you know, and you don't have to be a shithouse, but he scored against your mates. If we're playing our mates, who would you celebrate most against? When you beat your brother, you beat your best mate or something, that's when you celebrate. So if you score against your ex-team, I think you should, you know, at least, you know, enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, it was the same when we played Napoli, and I wanted De Bruyne to score. Some City fans, I don't want him to score, but it'd be the same. He probably won't celebrate if he did score. I didn't want him to score anyway.
Yeah, well, no, I didn't. Well, if we were 6-0 up, I didn't mind.
I wanted him to have a couple of nice touches, and that'll do.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
love him as we do.
Yeah,
yeah.
Just play. No, we don't want him to score. Just have a hat trick of assists and that, and yeah.
Yeah, well,
he'll still get plenty of applause from the Monaco fans anyway. Yeah. Yes,
Don't we forget our one of our.
He wants us to address him as High Lord.
Who's that, Macca?
Yeah, no, that's
one of our greatest ever players.
Martin's in the back. Yeah, you can jump on if you want, mate.
Yeah, he wants
Yeah,
to
see what I
say
mean. He's always
on his
listening, so you
Nico-
might as well just jump on
Yeah.
anyway.
He's got his Nico agenda. We can get
Yeah.
Alan on with his docu
Yeah.
agenda.
Yeah,
Are there any other
Don't be
agendas?
forgetting-
you're
we
right.
need
But
to
yeah,
know
Bernardo,
about?
yeah, he's the number one piss spoiler. Yes, you are, mate.
Yeah.
Hey, don't be forgetting George Weah. He was one of our greatest ever.
Wasn't he president of
Monaco.
Liberia for a time?
He is.
He was indeed.
No, I don't
He-
think,
Yeah.
I don't think he is anymore.
He was the one who, about a month ago, Donald Trump complimented on speaking good English.
Yes.
Did he?
Yeah. Even though
Well,
I
they-
think it is the native language for most people in Liberia.
Well,
Anyway.
Liberia is actually kind
Because
of
it's
like
in New
it
York.
works.
American.
It's
formed by
links to the
people from the US.
United States are similar to like the British with the Commonwealth. Like apparently, if America
Yeah,
goes
no,
to
no,
war
Liberia-
legally, they're meant to be the first
Yeah.
country that goes to war with them.
Mm.
Yeah, because not
Mhm.
Liberia was formed
Yeah.
by, I'm pretty sure, by ex-slaves moving back.
It
To
was,
Liberia.
yeah.
Hence their flag is a bit like the US flag, and most of them speak perfect English. And George Weah speaks better English than Donald, but Donald seemed surprised and complimented him, and all the journalists are there going, "Oh God."
Well, mate, many people forget that we had the World Player of the Year playing for us at that stage. The
Yep.
World
Yeah.
Player.
The only
When you
African to
saw
win the
him
Ballon
play,
d'Or,
yeah,
by the way, too.
you'd have never
It's one-
known when he
like,
put his
yeah.
City shirt on.
Yep.
Is it 3 or
That's-
4 Ballon d'Or winners who played for City? Can't
Oh,
remember.
that's a good quiz question, isn't it?
There's more than two, isn't
Definitely
there?
3.
Well,
definitely three.
Dennis Law's one of them.
Can we have Dennis?
George Weah, Rodri.
Yeah.
Is there a
Rodri.
4th though? I think it might only be 3.
I think it's 3. Chat.
Yeah.
That's a good one for that's a good one for trivia in the Christmas time.
Yeah.
Can
it
we
is.
claim?
Yeah.
Can we claim Keegan as manager?
Yep. Evening, Martin.
Dennis has done it.
Lord and High Chief Master.
The Agenda Meister.
Sounds
How was
sounds like,
that here?
sounds like a president from Liberia, man.
You speak good English for someone from Glodwick, Martin.
Yeah. Whoa, Rich.
Too far. Too far.
Yeah, I've heard those elocution classes in Falesworth are a bit expensive.
Anyway, Rich, what are you talking about? Listen,
Uh,
what are you talking about here?
Good
You-
game.
you
We're talking
watched
about
different games, son.
Monaco.
Yeah, but you watched different games, son. Sideways
Yeah,
passing was last season.
yeah,
Yeah.
I watched City Burnley. Yeah.
Yeah, sideways, 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 lose the ball, sideways, sideways, lose the ball.
He put 11 balls into the final third in the game.
PA.
Here you go, Rich. Andrew just said, was Danny Mills one of the Ballon d'Or winners?
Just a
Rich.
balloon.
He's-
Oh, see, people think I've got this massive agenda on Nico Gonzalez, and I really don't, because for some reason, Nico Gonzalez has become massively into Rodri region, which baffles me completely. He's a number 8. He is an excellent number 8. Is he a 6? Not a kind else chance.
But you can do it.
He will be for
No, I
15,
can't
20
have
games.
I don't
which
think
is
he
what we're
can.
looking for.
I don't think he will. I think Kovacic and Rodri are ahead of him.
Well, Rodri's
Yeah, but
obviously ahead
Cobo-
of him for any big game. That goes without saying. There's no.
I think when Cobber's fit, this
Rodri.
six
Yeah, after
role
Cobo goes,
is gonna be better.
he won't be there, won't he?
Cobber's fit, it's going to make that alternate 6 role. When Rodri can't do it, it's just going to make the job a lot easier, and it will actually
They'll probably
play a lot better.
play
Yeah.
Nico and Cover together when Rodri's out.
Plus,
Yeah.
I'm saying it now. Why did he go back for Bruno?
When did he go back for Bruno?
Did we go back?
In the summer.
What, this summer?
Yeah, he went back for Bruno.
I thought it was
this
the
summer.
previous summer. It was like a one and done.
No, they had another nibble again this summer.
Mm.
Right.
I'll be honest. Do you know my thing with Nico Gonzalez? I think he's been misprofiled by Pep. That's all it is with me.
Misprofile. Did
I
Pep
think he's
actually
been
say that?
misprofiled.
Did Pep actually word it as though he was going to be his like replacement or cover when he can't play?
It's covered.
Well, I don't. I'll be honest. I don't fully believe what Pep says. Pep told everyone James McAtee was going to be a superstar and then didn't play.
Yeah.
No, I don't think anyone sees, Nico replacing Rodri. I think the question is whether he can do a bloody good job against the bottom 7 or 8 teams in the Premier League and the Carling Cup and a few other things like that, and I think he can.
Pep does make
asking,
players
what's
better.
a nibble for Bruno?
I started him at the Santiago Bernabeu. No, but I don't think anyone.
And
think
that's where I
game.
feel for him, Rich. That's where I feel for him.
Yeah, but we're not going to have a midfielder who's going to start ahead of Rodri if Rodri gets even to 90% of his game. So,
yeah.
But he's got to step up. But Nico's going to have to step up this season because next season you might get Kovo and Bernardo gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then he's going to be one of the kingpins. Yeah. He's going to have to step up this season.
Well, Cisco's just brought up something that I remember Pep saying too. I think it was during the summer about he had possible long-term replacement ambitions for Victor Hayes. Although I think when I look at Victor Hayes, I think of him more as like a John Stones regen, a centre back who may be able to develop into that sort of advanced centre back who can play in the spaces and things like that.
Yeah, and I think you're probably talking 3, 4, 5 years.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So he could be there's nothing to say he couldn't be a CDM, but he's got so far to go physically and mentally and tactically that we'll see.
The thing is, next season though, is he going to get his nose pushed out a joint again? Because when Kovo or Silva goes next season, we're going to be going for top line midfielders. Is he going to get pushed out again?
Thank you. That's my point, Governor. This is my whole point. I think I feel for Nico Gonzalez. I feel sorry for him a little bit because the guys come here with because listen, for me, there's a major talent there. I think as an 8, he's excellent. I think he's being misprofiled, and people say, "Oh, he wasn't a 6." I get that, but that's the problem. For the last 3 years, we're asking number 8s to be number 6s.
We've had players in different positions all the time.
Yeah.
And we've had players in different positions all the time.
That number 6 role is probably the one that I think we've not failed on, but we've had the biggest issue with. We've had the biggest issue with.
Well, Martin, as I said on Daps's show yesterday, I said it's a dilemma anyway because no player's going to want to come in and just play a 6 to cover the maybe 10, 15 games a year when Rodri needs to be rested or that's so that's no player wants to do that. But you're not going to just sign an out-and-out number 6. It's why we probably never went for someone like Zubimendi because Zubimendi plays just as a number 6. He's not known for being a much more of a versatile midfielder.
Oh, he did. I think Calvin was pretty much an out-and-out number 6, and he played about 15 minutes or something daft. I mean, he was never trusted.
Well,
we need someone
number 8 at number 6.
Once they put him
we need someone in there with a bit of bite. That's what we need.
Well, I think that's why he did have a little. He did inquire about Bruno in the summer, and they got told they got a very sharp shot. No, go away, don't come back.
That's what we're missing.
Yeah, I reckon that was a false flag.
You know what Pep's really like. Pep gets obsessed with players, Rich. You know that. He did this with Nunes, remember? He waited 3 years to get Nunes in the door. And you know why I don't believe all this Pep stuff? He told us all Nunes was one of the best midfielders he'd ever seen and now plays him right wing back.
Well, he told us that before he'd signed him.
So you're saying besides being the best manager in the world, he's a top-class hype merchant?
I think all managers do PR.
Yeah.
No, Pep will.
I think he-
Pep said it in that
Signed
documentary.
someone.
I will protect
Yeah.
you in front of the media. I will
Yeah.
never run you down.
If you want to
Mm.
sign someone, though, doing that sort of hype is what gets that player. You know, you turn their eyes by saying that, and you also put pressure on your board to go and pay for him. So by Pep saying that about Nunes, he made the signing easier. You know, in both player and at the City side. So, but I think I think he's perfectly good enough to play 25 games as a backup number 6, and then play some games at 8 or whatever else in that. And I think he had I thought he had a good game Saturday. I thought he took the ball forward, and I thought he won his duels in the air and on the ground. And he pretty much always found a City player when he passed it.
Yeah,
All
mate.
right,
Didn't
here's a
do what was
question
asked
for
of
you.
him.
Here's a question for you, everyone, really. If Rodri doesn't make it, right? If he doesn't, who would you bring in? I mean, Nico G, obviously. Who would you bring in as a 6th? Top line midfielder. Who would you pick? Throw the money on the table.
First name that
Who would you pick?
First name that comes to mind for me is Baleba, but I'm not saying it's my first choice.
You know who mine is?
He's not a 6
You know who
either.
mine is? You know who mine is?
Balaba's an 8.
Declan Rice.
Yeah. Well, he's coming up. He's
I
what is
know-
he
I
done?
He
know
2
went
years
there.
left of
Declan
his,
Rice is a 6.
He went
yeah.
there.
He's only got
Declan
2 years
Rice
left
is
after
a
this season.
He went there to win
6/8.
trophies. He went there to win trophies, and it's been 5 years. He's won nothing. Throw the money on the table for him. Come
I
and
love
win top
Rice,
trophies,
but-
mate.
Yeah. I love Rice, but I don't think he was ever going to play 6 at City. I think he was being signed as an 8. So I don't think Reinders could play 6 for City. I think his mate in midfield, the Spanish lad, is a far better bet to play 6 for City.
Oof.
I think Adam Wharton's a better bet. I think Declan
No.
Rice, I'd like him at City. He's a great player, but he's playing where Tijani's playing.
Yeah. Rich, I don't know. Neil's got a good shout here. João Neves.
But he's looked very good very good for them.
I don't know. I don't like Declan Rice myself, but I don't know.
He's not 6.
I mean, Wharton needs to be built up a bit, and obviously that Henderson is that Anderson. He's flavour of the month at the moment, whether it's potential, but we want a top line. We don't want potential.
What about
And also, too, there's no
Tonali?
point coming back to this unless we get another 12 months of Rodri on off with the
Tonali.
injuries anyway.
How old's Tonali?
Yeah,
Well,
Mid to late
Tonali's only
20s, I
got
think.
2 years left on his deal. After
Who,
this
Rice?
season, he's down to 2 years. No,
Yeah.
Right.
Tonali. Well,
Tonali.
Newcastle have got both players.
Yeah, Tonali's a fantastic
I think
player.
Declan Rice only has 2 years after this season, too.
And that's what
But
I'm
I don't
saying.
know, for me,
Yeah.
Rice and Baleba are box to box. They're box to box players. They don't sit and control the tempo of a game. They can't necessarily play with the back to the play. They can't hold it up and just dictate play. So for me, Baleba, phenomenal player. Rice, a phenomenal player. But they play with a Rodri. They don't play instead of a Rodri.
I mean, hopefully the
yeah.
worst scenario doesn't happen and we don't have to, but,
Of course, yeah.
I
No,
like
that's fair play to you, Mark. Like,
Fabian
hope for the best,
Ruiz
plan for the
thing.
worst, Yeah.
Yeah.
I
No,
thought
totally.
Ruiz was a good bet as a backup to Rodri on the cheap a year or two ago.
Oh,
I think
Fabian
he's
Ruiz.
I thought he was a great backup for Rodri.
Oh, Douglas Luiz.
No, Ruiz at PSG.
Oh, yeah,
Came
He's
yeah,
on
from
yeah.
about
Spain
Fabian
when-
Ruiz.
Played for Spain.
Yeah. That's right, yeah.
I think he can dictate the tempo of a game. I just don't see that from Rice and Baleba, even though I agree with you, Rice, phenomenal player, but you play him next to Rodri and, make
Well,
him
here's
run,
one for you,
scout
Rich.
it out.
Why not?
Yeah.
I don't
But he's
think
not
we
playing
talked
next
about
to him. That's the worst scenario.
Why not try Rodri and Nico G together?
I think
That's what I want to see.
I have absolutely no problems with that. I've said it before, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Games.
I think everyone wants to see that.
Away when we play, who are the big away games we've got? Real Madrid. I'd like to see that. It's not, you know, at Anfield, games like that, I wouldn't mind seeing Nico and Rodri together. I think he's a more defensively solid, much more defensively better than Reinders, but not as good offensively.
Yeah,
I think for me, this is what
Andrew said John Nevers again. I said John Nevers was a weird one because all the talk was about something like 115 million euro release clause, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, PSG says, "Oh, here's 70 mil," and they go, "Okay, fine."
Yeah, there's a bit of politics behind that.
Yeah,
there's politics behind it because. So go on, Rich.
Is Rodri go? If you sign John Neves, it's because you're selling Rodri.
Of course, and I've said the same thing with Ederson as well.
Rodri's probably going to sign his extension. Rodri will sign the extension for me.
And if he does, then we need, you know, ultimately we need either someone who's happy to play back up to Rodri as a 6, and I don't know that you could get a 6 good enough to keep us happy. Who's happy to be a backup, or you have 6/8s who you can play with Rodri and instead of him in the easy games.
Do you know what will determine me on the Nico G future? Is what he does with Kovacic now. Because if he automatically starts bringing Kovacic back into the games, I think Nico G will get. And I think that'll be a message. That'll be a message out. And like I said, I wasn't. It's not that people think I dislike him. I don't. I'm watching. It's more of I think Pep's made his mind up. And Pep's because I was watching Pep's mannerisms on Saturday.
It's an awkward one, that Martin, because he's a trusted player, isn't he? And he might just be playing him for his last season.
Who?
Yep.
Covo.
Who's that?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think Cover's gone next summer. So,
you know what I mean? He might be. He's one of his trusted players, and he might just give him that game time for his last season. And then Nico's nose is out of joint near.
Yep.
Well, this is the thing, and Pep's mannerisms on Saturday to some of Nico G stuff wasn't. I don't know how do I word this? Wasn't promising. Some of his reactions.
Okay.
It's going to come in time.
Macca had to jump everyone, but he just sends a message just to everybody here. Yeah, thanks for everything.
For me, I don't think we can say Pep doesn't.
He's got a great game.
He's what? How many games has he been on the pitch for City? 17 games in, 6 games into the season when we signed him in January. So he's been on the pitch in half the games we've played in that time. Now, Calvin was a player who Pep didn't trust, and he was lucky if he got in the pitch once in every 10 games. He wasn't getting on the pitch in Carabao games. So I think Pep clearly trusts him a lot more than a player he doesn't trust, because I think we saw, and he trusts it. So I don't think Pep thinks he's the next Rodri, but I don't think anyone does. But he trusts him enough that he's not trying to do anything silly. He's not playing Stones in midfield or Rico or any number of players he could play if he really didn't trust him.
Barring injuries, I reckon Kovacic should be finishing games off. If we're in control, bring him on to finish games off. And we want to see what Martin says. I'd love to see that. Nico G with Rodri. And we need stability. Just keep playing him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd also like to see if you rest, I think there's a case if you rest Rodri and you're playing Nico or Kovacic. I don't think Kovacic is a proper number 6 either. I think he's a 6/8. But you could play Kovacic and Nico G together, who are both defensively more solid than Reinders is, and rest Reinders in that week. So there's ways we can strengthen things, when we can't play Rodri, by not necessarily playing 2 other really attacking midfielders there. Play one of them who's got a bit more grind.
He's going to have an headache in a bit when Marmoush and Cherky come back, isn't he?
Well, I have that.
I think they've got to win the place, though.
Yeah,
they've got to win the place.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I think they've got to play their way back in.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing it more this season. I think we're seeing it more from teams that substitutes are becoming more and more important. I think the physical demands of the game and the amount of football subs are becoming more and more important. So, to be honest, I think Doku is a player who will be more than happy because of his muscularity and stuff not to play for 90 minutes. So, Doku for 60 minutes, Marmoush for half an hour. Marmoush for 60 minutes, Doku for half an hour.
Yeah.
If you've had a right
To
back
be honest, Rich,
with one of them,
when
and
I
then you bring
when I
him
see the
on
team,
for half an hour.
when I see the team selections now, I look at the bench right away, me. That's what I've seemed to do now with the team. As soon as the team comes out,
it
I
does
look at
seem
the
to
bench.
be as much a talking point as who's off the pitch as who's on it.
Yeah. Well, I think football is behind nearly every other sport where benches are an absolute crucial part of nearly every other sport, team sport there is. And football has never really been like that. And I think that will become more important. And I think for players who are really fast, explosive, and muscular like Doku, stamina is never going to be easy for him. And if you know you can play him for an hour and take him up, you've got Marmoush to come on, or Marmoush starts and Doku can come on for half an hour. That gives you an extra dimension.
That's right. Game management.
Well, let's be honest, Rich. Andrew's just said here we've got AFCON coming up. I think at the start of the new year too. So you're talking about half of our left-sided link-up going to be away for the best part of a month as well.
Yeah, so we have O'Reilly and Doku sorted.
Yeah, no, which is good. I'm all for that. And the way they're both playing, it's like, you hope that this form will continue or at least come back when it's most required. Yeah,
and hopefully Pep's smart. He'll overplay Marmoush and Aït-Nouri a little bit in the run-up, give him a couple of games in a week, give Doku and, O'Reilly a bit of a slower period through December so that they're fit and raring to go in when the AFCON starts. And if there's tired players, they're in Africa playing for, Algeria and Egypt.
Yeah.
And plus, I'll be honest, I think people are thinking Egypt will get to a final. That AFCON, they've got some very, very good teams now. So
Egypt and Algeria, I reckon will be shoo-ins for the semi-final.
Algeria,
I'm not sure.
I like them.
I'm not sure,
Yeah, I think LB will be there in his Algeria shirt, going nuts.
Hey, mine. That was an interesting one about Livramento, wasn't it? Imagine if we would have got him and he got injured, and then you pull up his history. You would have got mad about that, wouldn't you?
I haven't heard about this, Gov. Was it?
He had what his
Tino
issue
got out
was.
with a long-term injury or something.
He's got his ACL. This is his second one. Plus, he's had 2 knee injuries as well.
And this is why City didn't want to pay the money that they were being quoted.
Well, this is the thing I
you
wanted to get to and talk to Martin, because you'd said across the summer about you were surprised that maybe City didn't show any interest in Van der Sar. Well, you're going to have your chance to do a bit of Van der Sar watching in a few hours' time, aren't you?
Yeah, and we'll see. I know Monaco are not having a great time at the moment. Well,
no. Well, I mean,
they're a bit hot and cold at the moment.
Well, I mean, it'll be a fantastic scouting report if he has to mark up against Jeremy Doku.
Yeah, especially in informed Jeremy Doku as well.
Yep.
I'm going to be watching very closely this evening. So the post-match tonight will be fun. I'm intrigued. Tonight, really, I'm intrigued with tonight's game quite a lot, because I think there's quite a few sort of build-ups, what's called one-on-one little wars going to go on in this game.
There'll be battles within battles. Yeah.
I'm actually excited. I think tonight will be a very open game. I think it'll be quite an exciting one.
Yeah. Well, there's no fixtures left. Yeah, there's no fixtures left or to be played on the Thursday. So, given I think a few of the clubs that won match day 1 have lost match day 2, so there's a good chance we may possibly be top of the table by. Well,
that's what I mean. You can get 6 out of 6, which is completely different to last season. You go in, you're 2 wins out of 2, you bounce into the Villarreal game, and then you're going into that Dortmund game at home. To me, that's a potential 12 out of 12. And then you're virtually there. You're virtually there at the moment. And then, like I said, Pep Guardiola is genuinely trying to win things this season. I know, which I don't want to touch on because that's going to be more tomorrow. I know there's this big thing, and even I've mentioned it, about transitions and youth players, and do we need this and should we do that, and should Pep rebuild for 2 years? Pep's not rebuilding. Pep's trying to win.
Yeah,
Pep's trying to win. If Pep's here, if Pep Guardiola, which I think he will extend as well. I do think he'll re-extend, because you're not building a squad for another manager to come in and. Why would Pep beg for Donnarumma and then get Donnarumma and then bail?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
He continued signing young players as well too. Only to leave them. Yeah.
Well, I've said in a lot of chats.
Do we want to be Chelsea here?
Yeah, I've said in a lot of chats. I think Pep wants silverware again before whatever happens with him. He'll want silverware before he goes.
He wants another Champions League.
And I'm telling you, I'm not ruling us out of this title race at all.
No, I'm not.
I think Liverpool have got a problem, which I've always thought they would have. I know everyone was.
You're right. You said you'd make a better assessment at the end of October.
Yeah.
Everyone went in shit scared of Liverpool, and yes, they've got a great individual list, but they're not playing as a team. Because this is the problem when you go and buy Galacticos.
Martin,
they all want a ball each. They all want to be the main man.
I think a lot of people who actually think about the game went into this season thinking Liverpool would do well to get third. I think there was a lot of talk on this channel about Liverpool's weakness at centre-back, weakness at full-backs, weakness in central defensive midfield, and how they were focused on shiny forwards when you win the game in the spine. So, I had Arsenal as our biggest threat for the league, and I think we're Arsenal's biggest threat for the league. I think Liverpool have not played a single decent game all season. Every time I've watched them, they've been lucky not to lose. They could easily have lost 7 or 8 games this season on the balance of playing their games. They've had a few bright moments from Ekitike, looks good, but
he's moaning now, Rich. He's moaning now.
Well, he will, because he's not going to get to play because they stupidly
went injured now, isn't he?
For the same position.
Richard, you're saying if you were running that Liverpool club, that money that they spent on Isak, you could have got Gahey and like another centre back of similar quality.
Yeah, like that missing out on Gahey, that was just mind-numbingly stupid.
Because they focused on Isak.
Yeah.
But why did they need Isak when they'd signed Ekitike and they played the same position? And neither of them press and work
hard. Which begs the question, was Arne Slot in charge of the signings, or was it Michael Hughes?
Or was it the kid of one of their owners who likes shiny attacking players on FIFA? Because I don't see why any serious football person...
They're not a team. Liverpool are a great team now. I'm not going to say they're not, but are they a team? And I would say that teams win leagues. Individuals win games. They don't win leagues.
Do you know what it is? Yeah. Do you know what it is, Rich Martin? I think, Gov, it kind of, the signings that they've made, and especially, and it's very attack-minded, a lot of their signings, you get sort of vibes of Abramovich's first season at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Got the big shiny toys in, but couldn't get over the line because it was still a team of individuals. Yeah.
Yeah, Galactic
PSG for years. Similar to PSG for years in the Champions League. Yeah.
But Liverpool's success has been, I know obviously there's Van Dijk and Alisson's a great keeper, but for me, I was saying it earlier, Liverpool's success first round was based on the work rate of Mane and Firmino, who has, Firmino was the first ever centre-back number 9 playing the game, because he defended more for them than any other player. Mane's work rate was ridiculous. And
Mane was the most crucial to that front three.
Because he ran himself into the ground. Liverpool was smart enough to know we physically ruined this guy, we'll sell him to Bayern. And he was never the same. But to me, Diaz did a bit that for them last year. I thought he was really hardworking. You know, obviously, you know, tragedy with Jota, who was also hardworking. But it seems to me they've taken away all that work up front and that pressing, which put pressure on teams' defences, took pressure off their midfield and enabled them to win the league. They've given that all away. And in Salah, Ekitike and Isaac, there's not an ounce of heart. That's like PSG's team with Mbappe, Messi and Neymar. You're going to be defending with 6 players.
Let's have it right, Rich.
I think Wirtz does work. I'll be fair to Wirtz. Watching him play previously, I think he is prepared to graft. But you can't have 3 lazy buggers up front.
Let's have it right, Rich. Slot Machine won the league with Klopp's team. Now he's got he's building his own team. See if he can handle the pressure. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it's hard to retain again. So let's have a look. Keep glazing Arsenal and Liverpool. We stay under the radar. Just keep going along.
Oh, I'm loving this. I love that we've been written off. I love
That's
that
right.
we've been written off. I love that we're in the shadow.
Forgotten what it's like to be an underdog. Yeah. When was the last time we were an underdog? Probably like what,
Liverpool have to watch out.
2017 maybe?
The thing is, to me, Rich, I'll say this. For me, if people keep writing us off, they'll wake up to us and it'll be too late. They'll wake up to us when it's already too late. Because here's the thing, City are building.
I can see just the results in the last. We're starting to build an unbeaten run, and our success is always built on unbeaten runs. And it's amazing how you think. You know, in the past we've all felt this. A couple of games in, and suddenly you're 11 games without defeat, and then you're 15 games without defeat, and suddenly even the City fans will be like, "Bloody hell, what's happened? We beat Monaco, we beat Brentford, international breaks, and players come back." Couple of other winnable games. Suddenly you can be on a 10-game unbeaten run, and everyone's like, "Shit, where did that come from?" They were in the
so we get beat tonight. Everyone blame Rich.
And now the second or the third.
Now, the only thing that might make that a little bit frustrating is the international breaks coming up, which is going to be frustrating.
Yeah, well, that's the sad thing. But to me, listen, Liverpool are a good team and they've got to be respected. I'm not saying they don't, but there was a reason City didn't want to pay.
Stuff for Martin.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this quite, and everyone thought I was mad last season when I said this. The reason City weren't willing to pay the money for Florian Wirtz was quite simple. It is, if you can, in their eyes, if you could get a Phil Foden back and you get a Phil Foden back at full whack, you've got Wirtz already. You've got that profile already there. You don't need to add somebody else into that mixture.
True.
And what I like with Foden at the minute, we're not quite playing him as a 10. We're playing him as a sort of 8.5, whatever, 9.5, whatever you want to call it. We're sort of playing him in that gap between the 8 and the 10. And we're saying float around and unpick it. And against Burnley, Foden was very good, but it just went under the radar with a lot of people because he didn't get the goals and the assists. But you look at what Foden was doing. Yeah, he was doing a lot of what I would say, and by the way, I'm not comparing him here, David Silva did. David Silva looked like he was not in the game a lot sometimes. But what he was doing was very clever. He was sort of running. He was running a lot of running off the ball, creating space for others, and that's why for me, I'm not dropping. People go give Foden a rest. No, while Phil Foden's smiling and happy, play the guy, because confidence breeds everything else. It makes you go. It gives you that extra 25% of fuel that you didn't think you had in the tank. And you've got to remember, last season, people didn't want to know. They were hiding. They were trying to get off the pitch. When things are bad, you don't want to find that extra 10, 20%. Now you do.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeremy Dobbs, Wirtz more creative than Foden. Statistically, he's not. Statistically, he's not more creative than Foden. Wirtz's best season in the Bundesliga is less than
In
what
the
Foden's best
Bundesliga,
season
yeah,
was
exactly.
Foden
Yeah.
in the Premier
Yeah, I
League.
think his best season
So
across
he's
all
actually
competitions
not.
was like 15 assists. Yeah.
Do you think there's do you think if Liverpool, you know, one thing I think with Liverpool, I think this happened to City last year in October, was for the first few defeats, we kind of took it with a pinch of salt. But 3 or 4 games when we lost after Kovacic got injured and Rodri, teams smelt the blood in the water, and they just all they worry about is went for us. And I look at Van Dijk not looking that good, Canate not looking that good. I don't think their fullbacks can defend.
No.
I look at that and I'm thinking they only need to lose another game or two in the next. They lost 2 of their next 3 games. People are going to smell blood in the water, and they're really going to go at that Liverpool defence, and they're going to have a massive problem. You know, maybe they'll get like Keegan's Newcastle and they'll be scoring 5 goals because they have got the talent for it. But I think their defence is going to be leaking like a sieve, and it just needs that switch when there's blood in the water and everyone else thinks, right, we can really go at them now. And you know,
and they haven't got their keeper now as well. I don't know how long he's going to be out for. Allison, I don't know how long he's out for. He's injured,
yeah. They've got the
he got subbed off about 50 minutes in. Yeah,
I do rate the backup. I do rate man.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He always has a terrible game against us, so I'm hoping he's back for City, even if he only plays one game and he's injured again. Because he's whenever I watch Alex against anyone else, he's good, and when I watch him against us, he's often the worst player on the pitch. Like,
Liverpool got some intriguing fixtures.
Here you go, Martin. Getting some praise from. Well, that's a Mars. That's whoever's hacked a Mars account. Give it back. Give it back.
Amar, you're being too happy, clappy. Stop.
No.
Big up, Amar.
Whatever it is you smoke, and put it down. Put it down.
Amar, someone's hacked your account.
That rubbish here.
No. In all seriousness, is you look at Liverpool's next 3 fixtures. They've got Chelsea away. Then they're going into that United game. Yeah, and United Liverpool is never, that's a toss of a coin sometimes. Because the thing is, you know, we all remember the worst United team going to Anfield and getting a 0-0 draw. You can go and just go.
They've had a few draws at Anfield, mate. They've had a few.
Yeah, and get the point.
Yeah.
And then they've obviously got, I think they've got real, then if you look, have you seen the game they've got before us?
Oh,
no. Hopefully in
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid, that's right.
Real Madrid.
At home or Bernabeu?
That I don't know. So if anyone in the chat can tell us if it's at the Bernabeu or at City, I don't know. Yeah. I know. I agree, Andrew. Yeah. They are dreadful, but they do seem to turn up for Liverpool.
Yeah. And Liverpool have got a bloody horrible, really horrible cup draw in the Carabao Cup as well, didn't they? They've got Palace again, and I think Palace will take that game seriously. So that's going to be a not a nice one for them. They can't take that one easy, or they could lose and be out of one of their quad comps that early.
Yeah,
you look at Liverpool,
and Palace have got the wind at their back now. They know how to play in cup competitions.
They haven't got the depth, have they?
20 unbeaten. The thing is, Liverpool remind me a bit of us last season, where they were. And I said this on Hossam's channel yesterday, is City was scamming wins last season. We were the ones going to Wolves and getting the last minute winner. We were the ones getting out of jail free cards. And then we said, and we all said at the time, it's going to go one or two ways. You either kick on and you become a great team, or it takes one defeat and you fall like a house of cards. Now, this is the test for Liverpool. I said this, it will take one or two defeats, then you'll see how resolute Liverpool are going to become.
Yep.
I mean, seriously, they are
knackered
at the back, Martin.
They're going to be
they are knackered at the back.
Oh, of course they are. I did something else,
Van Dijk,
but I think they
Van
knew
Dijk
that.
is not going to play
that.
60 games, is he? 60, 70 games.
I think they knew that, Governor. I think it was Kevin Keegan football. I will outscore you. The trouble is, they're not outscoring teams at the present moment. I'm still going to give them the respect. I'm not going to say the shit.
But they haven't
Because
got.
I still think they're good.
Yeah.
They've got that potential problem at centre back, but they haven't got good defensive fullbacks outside. You know, if they were, you know, Robertson and what's his name? I was going to say Bradley Cooper, but he's an actor. But, you know, yeah.
Bradley
Kirkes,
Cooper, is he playing?
Yep.
No, he's a right back.
Man,
the kid.
Madrid's at Anfield.
Right. Cheers, Sam.
Yeah,
Yeah, who's
and
the right
Rich,
back?
they've only
It's
got Gomez. Really, that's it.
Yeah, they got. Well,
Haven't
who's
they?
their right back? Who played half the games last season, swapped with Trent. He
Bradley.
wasn't too bad. Bradley, yeah.
But Frimpong was at a defensive fullback.
Connor Bradley
Frimpong-
started.
Frimpong
Connor Bradley
was
started the
the most-
Merseyside derby.
Yeah, I remember seeing a thing on Frimpong. I think it was Nobbins who, for Leverkusen, Frimpong was their most advanced player on average position for the whole season.
He's basically a
He
right
was ahead
winger,
of the
Rich.
likes of TK and
Yeah.
Marmoush.
Yeah.
He's
But
only
he
a
wasn't
right
just
wing back
right
on
winger, he was
paper.
really
That's it.
advanced right winger. He was more advanced on average than Marmoush or Ekitike or Wirtz or any of them. So he's like not Marmoush, he wasn't there, but whoever it was, he was their most advanced player. And you know, not Ekitike either because he wasn't there. But who was it? Who was
Who was
played with Wirtz up front?
Oh,
They were constantly behind Frimpong.
is it the Nigerian fella?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you talk about. Yeah.
Forwards, but
Boniface. Is it Boniface? Boniface?
And yeah, maybe. And
I think it is,
Kirkes,
yeah.
I don't reckon Kirkes wasn't a great defender. He was a good footballer, but
Yeah.
I think Kanate and Van Dijk, and I don't think I think Gravenberch is one of their best players, but he's not a full six. He's like, to me, Nico Gonzalez. He's 6/8.
The person whose nose has been put out of joint at Liverpool for me is Szoboszlai. And he's been put out because of Wirtz. If you look at Szoboszlai last season or look at Szoboszlai this season, Szoboszlai's just been stuck anywhere and anywhere just to get him on the pitch.
Well, he's actually played well, right fullback. Yeah, he's actually played well there. No.
But that's where they've lost something for me from last season. Szoboszlai and Gravenberch were the two sort of linchpins in that. You know, Szoboszlai was kind of the correct. Mo Salah looks off. Mo Salah looks like he's just not there at the minute.
He's dropped off. Yeah.
I think. I don't think McAllister has been the last few months been what he was.
They're gonna have to change something. They're gonna have to change something.
I wanted at City.
They're all feeling it at the moment.
Yeah.
As a group,
they're gonna have to change something. And maybe you know what? I'm gonna say it. Maybe he has to drop one of the Galacticos. Maybe one of those Galacticos needs to go to the bench, learn again, not just be chucked in, learn the system, learn how you want to play, and go back to basics. And basically rinse and repeating everything for Liverpool, what we said about us last season. Back to basics, go again, because you won the league playing one way. This season, you bring in all your superstars, you spend $500 million, and yes, of course you want it to work. But I said this to Hussam: you spend $500 million, there's no excuses. You can't break the transfer record twice. Bring in all these superstars and say it don't work.
It's crazy. They spent all that money, and they're only a couple of injuries away from not a crisis, but under the pump. After all that money,
I just think in their planning, they never, ever, ever intended to have Isaac and Ekitike. I think they went for Ekitike. I don't think they even thought they were going to get Isaac. They then panicked they weren't going to get him and went for Ekitike. And then they thought, we can get him. And they were so far along, it's almost like they felt they couldn't just say back out and say no. So they then signed Isaac. So they signed two players of exactly the same kind for the same position, none of whom is going to be able to play on the flank and work. Because if you play on the flank at Liverpool, you've got to work your ass off because you've got Salah on the other side. And so now they're stuck with three players who, like Neymar, Mbappe and Messi, don't work for the team.
So I'm laughing at Andrew's comment. I'll have to
So
start to buy
Isaac,
another
just get a few
Isaac's
more.
got to play now because
Yeah.
Ekitike is injured, so he's got to play.
Do you think that all the spending that they've done this window, it kind of financially handicaps them a little bit for next summer? Because you wonder how much they're allowed to spend next transfer window, because they're gonna have to shore up that defense.
Well, I think they're going to get Gray on a free, and I think they've signed Isaac and Ekitike to one of them to replace Salah. So I think they've gone in early to replace players. You know, and you can argue that could have replaced some of our players a year earlier. So I think they've gone to replace Salah.
Well, Salah extended before this season for 2 years. Do you think they're of the thought that they're going to try and get the big money from Saudi and then go on their way?
But he's 33. He played so well that I think they felt they had to keep him. But they know he's 33 and a half. And even though he's like Cristiano Ronaldo, he is a player whose body is a temple and he looks after himself. But he can't be as good at 35 as he was at 31, 32.
Yeah.
It's got to get the money for him. Get the money while they can.
Yeah, but they won't now. I think they lost their last chance to get
They've lost,
money.
missed the boat.
Yeah. Martin,
Can I ask a question
David
about
asks, any watch along for Monaco? Probably not, mate.
No, but we are doing post matches 11:15 tonight.
Yeah.
Martin, question. Do you think we are going to be busy in January? I've asked this question before on the chat on other streams, whether because of the summer and the World Cup, it's going to be hard to get players. Do you think we'll do business in January because of it?
I think ideally they'd like one or two. Don't think you'll get a January like you just had. I think they may.
You can't get them, can you, while there's a World Cup?
Well, yeah, and I had a look at this. I had a look at the last two World Cups. I know one of them was obviously it was abroad in Qatar. I know that, and it was in the winter. And then there was the one in where was 2018? Germany. Where was 2018?
Russia.
Yeah.
Oh, Russia.
Germany was what 2000.
And if you look at in the Russia one, we only bought Mahrez. In the other World Cup, we had a pre-arrangement with Haaland and Alvarez, so we only bought Akanji at the last minute. So we don't tend to do a lot of spending in a World Cup summer. So I'm expecting maybe one or two movements, and we'll see. I do think the World Cup's going to make it very hard for teams to get a lot of business done. I think if you are going to do business, it'll be sort of like pre-arranged April, May time for the summer. I think you'll see a lot of agents do a lot of pre-work. You know, like when you get all the donkey work where you do the fee, then do the terms, and then you go. And sometimes it can take 3 weeks. I think they'll do all that before the World Cup and maybe just get the final bits done.
But I always think it's always afterwards in case there's an injury in the World Cup. Do you know what I mean? You're going in for someone.
Yeah, but potentially it's hard in the World Cup because they all go to the World Cup, say they're there for the full length, then they're going to go on a 2-3 week holiday, and you're basically stuck then. Because UEFA's guidelines and FIFA guidelines, they need, I think, is it 20 odd? Andrew may know this more than me. I think it's 20, 30 days off they've got to have minimum to rest.
Okay.
So I guess we'll see. And also, it'll be intriguing to see where our pre-season tour will be. When does that normally get announced, Pat? Because that'll be an intriguing one of where we end up pre-season.
Well, it's not like the old days where we'd know by the start of the new year. To be honest, usually pre-seasons are probably earliest I remember in recent years are probably the end of April. The latest I've heard is like the start of June.
Yeah.
Because again, at the end of the day, like depending on what's happening in the summer, some pre-seasons don't even start until the first week of August.
Yeah. It's I'm presuming the Premier League will kick off late this year. No, they normally do.
I'm expecting it to, yeah, especially 48 team competition. That's going to drag out a bit, yeah.
Yeah, Jesus. No, and there will not be watch-alongs for the World Cup. I couldn't give two tiny shits about England in the World
If they
Cup.
get rid of this stupid dynamic pricing, I might go at least watch Australia play. But I just get this awful feeling that we'll be playing a bloody group stage match against Uzbekistan or something, and the cheapest tickets will be like $175 or something.
And what makes it worse is we're in Mexico, Canada, and the USA, aren't we?
Oh, you'd love to be in Mexico, Martin. I'm surprised you're not looking at what fixtures are on in Orlando.
Too much travel.
No, that's 2027. 2027 and back in Orlando.
Right, fine.
So hopefully they'll be doing their American tour in 2027.
Yeah. Guys, we'll wrap up shortly, just in a few minutes. Just quickly wanted to add as well, too. Probably saw if you get your notifications on the City app as well. Women's team member Matilda, an Australian, Mary Fowler's just signed an extension at the women's team till 2027. So Beta Blues down under, of course, we have to put an honourable mention in there too. Congratulations on that, and we look forward to having you around the club for a bit longer. But she's probably our best player, to be honest, in Australia, mate, and yeah, she's a big part of that women's squad. So yeah, we're happy to have her here at the club for a little bit longer, and yeah, nice to meet you in the women's team. Hey, yeah,
do you want to get it? Do you want to get him in early for October, Pat? Let the viewers know what's coming up on.
Oh, yes. During an international break, there will be a Blues Down Under versus Stateside Blues, Australia versus United States watch-along. I believe it'll be Tuesday the 14th, whatever the Tuesday is, Tuesday the 14th. That'll be the 15th for us, Gov. 14th. Australia plays United States in Denver in just a warm-up to the World Cup sort of friendly match. So there'll be a watch along myself, Ed, anybody else, whether it be from this part of the world, from that part of the world.
Gav, you know what will be really funny? Pat will be on about a 60-second lag to Ed. So Ed will be like, celebrating a goal or a corner, and Pat will still be arguing about the corner at the other end that's just gone off.
No, see, I've already beaten. No, Rich, I've already beaten you. No, Rich, I've already beaten you to that because I've already made up my mind that we're going to do the watch along at Cheers Bar. So when that does happen, I'll put it on mute, take out my headphones, and walk straight to the bar.
Oh, geez, this is going to be fun and games.
Because there's one thing I've found is I've never found a watch along that I can watch with the feed here and not be like.
On the same,
of course,
yeah.
And given what Socceroos matches are on Paramount Plus, like it's probably going to be, it's going to be about 7.5 minutes in front of me.
Than hearing Martin complaining about a goal we've conceded 10 seconds before we've conceded it. When we score, it's all right. If someone celebrates like, I can relax now and enjoy the next 10 seconds.
He's on about the Bayern Munich game. The one thing I will say is, I apologise saying this, but I've done a bit more background into this. We do need everyone's help at the moment, and everyone does need help at the moment. YouTube have stopped pushing live content to people. So even if you've got your notifications on, you may not get it. Because YouTube, in their wisdom, have now decided they're going to start pushing shorts and podcasts around. So you'll probably notice in some of your feeds, you're getting podcasts thrown at you more than you're getting lives chucked at you. And it's because YouTube have now decided they're beating Twitch on the live. They've then they were focusing on the shorts and trying to beat TikTok. They've done that. And they're just pushing the algorithm. So right now, unless you are here every single show, you will not get told that we are live. You've literally got to come and find us. So, and that's everywhere now. That's with every chat. Every single, you'll notice every views are down. And it's just because YouTube in their wisdom and not. So where in your, when you have a YouTube channel or you have an account, YouTube will push what it will learn what you regularly watch, and it will push all that stuff to you. It's not doing that anymore. Some people may have noticed. I know Blue Art mentioned the other day I didn't get a notification. Your notification is on. They're just not. They're doing that too. They're not pushing it.
Well,
So
Martin
yeah,
Captain
like Kelly,
says if you hit the subscribe and the bell icon, you should get notifications still.
no, not even the bell icon's working now. They're not even pushing notifications out to everyone anymore.
Okay.
Subscribing helps, but unless
Yeah.
you are here week in, week out,
Yeah.
that they won't push
Well,
us to you.
Yeah.
And that's
Worst
the
case,
same
if you
everywhere.
can, just look in the subscriptions list and bring up Mancunian and Wayne. At least you'll get, because we try to, you know, put the thumbnails out there as early as we can, so at least we can kind of set, so everybody can know as well as far enough in advance to know when our shows are on. But yeah,
And we batter you and we batter you on Twitter, and that's why it's set. And I apologize if it sounds like begging. YouTube have just changed their style over now, and they're trying to push podcasts out to everyone. Because what they want to do now is try and beat Spotify and Apple Podcasts in their market. YouTube want to take over the world, so they want to beat everybody.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's a YouTube thing. It's just part of their business model, which they're changing to.
Yeah.
They've already beaten
We're not AI
Twitch. They've
content.
beaten TikTok. So now they want to beat. Now they want to beat Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, everyone's doing the same though. They're all doing it. I mean, you know, there's about 10 companies who want to run the entire world.
Yeah.
That includes yours, Rich.
No, actually, no. But
Oh.
companies 10, 20, 30 times the size.
Yeah. So anyway,
And
guys.
really
So yeah.
smart.
By the way, I'm going to go for a lovely 3-1 win tonight.
3-1 sounds like a good one. I'm going to go 4-0.
4-0.
That's confidence. This doesn't count towards our thing, though, does it? It's only the Premier League.
No. This is just for the
I'm
fun of it.
thinking-
Yeah. But by the way, I was the only one who said we concede the other day, and I was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, I got
But
the
you
goal
thought we'd
difference
only
right.
score 3.
I got the goal difference right.
Yeah, so did
Well,
I.
until the 85th minute, we were only scoring 3, Rich.
Exactly.
It's not my fault the big man decided to turn up in the last 5.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing you weren't in the ground for that anyway, mate. So yeah.
All right,
Sweet.
dig.
Alan's not here, so someone has to do it. Yeah. All right,
Best
guys.
part
So
of the
look,
game.
look, we're gonna wrap it up. Rich, Gov, we've got to be up in about 6 hours for this bloody match anyway. So, Martin, Stateside
true.
Blues will be on shortly after the conclusion of the Monaco match, I believe.
Yeah, it's a post-match reaction show.
Yep. And then Thursday night chat will be back.
And if anyone wants to come on, you're more than welcome, even though it's stateside, just because it's a post-match. Anyone wants to come on, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, we'll send links. We'll get your thoughts. Yeah,
Okay.
everything like that. So that'll be good. And as mentioned at the top of the show, we do expect to be back on Tuesday next week. Probably just dissecting everything that's probably happened, you know, over the last few weeks and international break and whatever. So yeah, we'll leave it as
Can
it
I just
is.
plug tomorrow night? Can
eh?
I just plug tomorrow night? Thursday night chat. I've come up with a bit of an idea. I want to have a discussion on, is it time for the youth movement? ? Simple fact is, because all I keep hearing is, sell John Stone, sell Bernardo, sell all the experience and bring in Victor Hayes, Juma Barr, blah, blah, blah. And again, back to my point, are we going down a youth movement road and we're all going to put our trust in 19-year-olds, or do we want to buy some? Are we trying to win cups and leagues?
You know what it is. As by Thursday, an uncle will be anybody over the age of 24.
All I can say is Johnny fucking Stones.
Stones.
Come on.
And on that note, everybody, it's been a pleasure.
Wow.
Never a chore.
Language.
Thank you, Gov. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Martin.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Great
Take
show.
care, lad.
Yep.
Please
Big up to
smash
Macro
those
as well.
likes
He'll
on your
be
way
back
out.
next week as well, too.
Smash those
Yeah, don't
thumbs
forget
up.
it. Like, subscribe. You know where to find us. All the details are in the bio. And we'll look forward to seeing you in a few hours' time. Hopefully, City and battered Monaco. And as we said in the title, hopefully we can break the bank there. And look forward to seeing you again soon. Until then, take care and always and forever, up the Blues. Come on, Sitsy.
Come on.
Go on, boys.